What's going on, everybody? John here, and today we are going to be doing a much needed upgrade to my ND2 Miata. I apologize for the lack of content, not because for any other reason than it's just time consuming, and I've done a bunch of work to the car, and I plan on doing a full review video of everything that I've done up till now. But in any event, there's been a lot of work done to the car in preparation to get it ready for track season. I've already done a handful of track days on this car, and I am really, really pleased with the outcome so far. I think all of the updates that I've done to this car, all of the modifications, are not only like the choice upgrades that you need to do to any ND Miata, but just in any car in general. But for whatever reason, it just really, really accentuates this platform, and I'm super, super pleased with it. However, getting on to more important things, today we are going to be doing a Cat-Back exhaust. Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to Cat-Back exhausts for the ND Miata, I had a really difficult time trying to find something that I was going to be completely content with. Mainly because if you plan on doing a full catless setup, or if you plan on doing a header on these cars, the moment you add a header, it completely changes the whole tone, the whole tonality, the drone, the buzziness, and everything of the exhaust. So it's difficult to find with as many aftermarket options as there in terms of headers and catback exhausts or even axleback exhausts. There is a really common setup. A lot of guys go to the Goodwin Racing stuff, obviously for good reason. However, I wasn't really entirely pleased with everything that they had to offer. I don't know, I just wasn't really thrilled of the sound. And I actually came across OS Geiken or Geekin, and obviously they're known for their differentials, but they did a lot of work with Remark to develop a catback exhaust system that is SCCA legal and approved. It meets a certain decibel requirement, so that you can run it on racetracks without an issue, specifically if you run a header. I was going to order that exhaust because it looks absolutely phenomenal. The build quality, I did hear of one review, or a video where I got to hear it with a header. Jet Fuel Only did a install video with it, and sounded phenomenal. But no availability, probably no ETA, maybe until late September of this year. So there goes that. Went on to Remark's website, the makers of that OS Geiken exhaust, and lo and behold, they have another catback exhaust system for the ND platform. And truth be told, I'm actually more drawn to this than I was the OSG setup, primarily because it is a lighter setup. Apparently, this catback is about 20 pounds less, or 20 pounds lighter, sorry, than the OEM exhaust. It's a true 2.5-inch exhaust, which is nice. Some aftermarket options out there are like 2.36 inches. So this is certainly a really nice upgrade from that. And the other thing I really like about it, and it sounds kind of weird, but I love the fact that it uses like a suitcase style muffler in the back. And one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to catback exhaust systems is, in order to remove resonance, or sorry, the sound, you put more resonators in. So you have these exhaust systems that have this like canister style or this small can style muffler, and they're just glorified resonators. So even if you have a 400 cell or 300 cell high flow cat, and then you have a resonator and one of these can style mufflers, the whole point behind a muffler is, just as the name implies, it muffles the sound. So the smaller the muffler, you're really not reducing the noise. And you can throw a catalyst in there, you can throw a resonator in there. The resonator is just removing resonance. That's all it's doing. So it's just removing certain buzziness or frequencies at a certain tone. But the muffler is what actually removes the majority of the sound. And the fact that this comes with a really healthy sized suitcase style muffler shows that there's obviously more packing material to deaden or muffle that sound. So I've heard a number of videos provided by Remark. They've got 2 videos online, and I absolutely love the sound of the exhaust. Now, I will say that the piping that does come with this is a true header back exhaust, does not have either a high flow cat or a resonator like some of the other options do. I'm keeping my header for now, so I have the catalyst in that. But we'll see how this goes. The sound to me sounds okay. If I feel for any reason, whether it be for emissions or for sound, if I need to add a high flow catalyst or a resonator to the system, I will. I really like the look of it, so we're going to save weight. It looks really nice because it uses a suitcase style muffler. It kind of maintains that aerodynamic, that the void that sometimes is left when you go with a different style muffler in the back where the OEM muffler sits. You leave this big air pocket or this void that's just going to create air turbulence. So, anyways, this is a little closer to OEM style. So, hopefully, with any luck, I'm not going to have as much air turbulence happening beneath the beneath the bumper in the muffler section where it normally would be. And because it's low profile, if I decided to go with a rear diffuser down the road, I'm not going to have any issues with fitment. The rear diffuser should fit perfectly fine. It sits up nice and high. So again, like OEM, it is a single tip design. They do have interchangeable tips, which is kind of nice. I just went with a standard stainless option because truthfully, the other ones are just aesthetic and honestly, I don't really care. We're going to unbox this and have a look and see what it's all about and hopefully get it installed. Now, to install this, you shouldn't really need much other than basic set of hand tools, maybe some penetrating fluid if your vehicle's seen some winters or if it's got higher mileage on it. And you're going to want to use some of that penetrating fluid for the hangers because they get a little tricky for sure. Floor jack, a couple of stands, and you should be good to go. All right, let's open the box and have a look. All right, guys, right away, we've cut the straps. Word of caution, cardboard is sharp. It will cut you. Don't ask me how, but it cut me. Anyways, all right, so there we go. So what we have in here is we've got a lot of foam. I will admit this is probably not packed as well or as nice as I hoped it would be, but it's a bunch of metal. It should be okay. Anyways, so we got a bunch of foam, which is good for your knees when you're down on concrete here, working away on your car. All right. So everything's really nicely packed and protected. Just want to have a look at these flanges here. This is the one thing I really noticed. Some setups they use a really kind of cheap flange, and I don't know. Oh wow, yeah, some nice lightweight flanges here. Some really nice welds. That's the thing about these exhaust systems is even though these aren't handmade, these you just can't beat the quality of these machine welds. So again, more flanges. It's nice. It's flanged in a couple of spots, so it makes it easier for installation. You're not installing a 16-foot pipe, but yeah, there we go there. 1.5-inch system. We got the O2 bung here. So they got the provisions in the pipe. This is the other thing I like too, is that because we are lacking the one of the catalysts here, you've obviously got a bung for the O2. But the other thing they've done here is they've included this little piece to mount the oxygen sensor to. Because the oxygen sensor has a bracket that mounts to the OE pipe. So that's kind of nice that they include that. Yeah, it looks really good. Those big hangers. All cut out. Looks fantastic. There we go. There we are. Don't worry, guys. I'll wipe this down before I start it up. But yeah, there you are. That's pretty neat. Cool. And then, of course, lastly, a bag of hardware and gaskets. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the Remark Cat-Back. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but the piping is just a little bit larger, especially at the bends and transitions. You can see, you know, the Remark system is just a little less crimped and restrictive. That being said, I don't think the OEM system is all that restrictive. I think the biggest restriction in the OEM system is going to be the box. I mean, there's the OEM box there compared to the Remark, right? But in terms of the piping, obviously, one of the biggest restrictions is going to be the catalyst. Resonator doesn't really do much, but there you have it. So we're going to remove that oxygen sensor, and we're going to get it mounted up, and then we're going to loosely bolt and flint. You know what? I might just fit up the. Nah, you know what? I'm going to loosely bolt and flange those flanges up. I mean, put the gasket on it, and just kind of get it in place. All right, guys. So we are done the exhaust install, and I have to admit, this is looking pretty good. You know, honestly, this has actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was gonna. I have to say the fit and finish of this Remark kit is pretty good. The flanges, everything all lined up. My recommendation is to like loosely bolt everything up, and you know, you'd be surprised once the flanges mate, everything just lines up perfectly. Even the exhaust tip is actually lined up really, really nice, dead center. Let me see if I can bring the stand around. Pretty happy with the install. Everything went pretty smooth, and we're just gonna fire it up and see if we can give you a little audio clip here. I have to admit that cold start was definitely louder than I expected, but it sounded pretty good. Makes this four-cylinder engine actually sound pretty decent. So the next thing you're going to want to do is, obviously, after you install the exhaust, is you're just going to want to get beneath the car and just check for leaks. That's why I still have it on stands. But all in all, I'm pretty happy. So I'll do some driving clips a little bit later. And thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.